Sure. Sandra Gagnon, Sandragagnon, and I'm the Manager of Regulatory Affairs here at Eversource.
Gotcha. If you can say, my name is Sandra Gagnon, and I'm the Manager of Regulatory Affairs here at Eversource.
My name is Sandra Gagnon. I'm the Manager of Regulatory Affairs here at Eversource.
Perfect. All right, so you were an intern with us in what year? What department did you intern with, and what was it like?
So I started in 2005 as an intern here, and I worked in the, okay, so I started here in 2005 as an intern in the procurement department, and so I was working on bids and working with vendors and all the business units within the company that basically need materials and services to support their organizations. And so I worked closely with them to identify what it is that they needed, to go out to bid for those materials and services that ultimately make the system run, and then develop contracts and supported each of their groups.
So that was in 2005. When did you get hired by Eversource?
I got hired with a full-time position in 2008. So I interned for 3 years. I did the summer internship, but then I also interned throughout the school year as well.
When you got the job offer, were you like, oh my God, I didn't think this was possible. I just thought this was like an internship. Okay, we'll see you later type of thing.
Yeah.
Was that what you thought?
Yeah, I just assumed it was going to be a one summer internship, one of several until I graduated. And ultimately, I found that I really loved the company and I loved what I was doing. I felt very challenged in what I was doing. And after 3 years of interning, I was so glad that there was an opening that I was able to apply for. And 20 years later, I'm still working here in different roles throughout those years, but very happy to be here.
What was your internship experience like? I feel like some companies, they're kind of like, just go get coffee for this person, and you're kind of like, you sort of like shadow. But I feel like here our interns are actually given not just busy work, things to actually do.
Yes.
Is that what you experienced as well?
Absolutely. I was very involved in my internship. I had really challenging work to do. I was in the field meeting the project teams that needed the support of the procurement department. So I would learn about what is it that they need us to buy for them. And so we'd go to the project sites, we'd learn about what it is that they needed, and that gave us a better understanding of the bid packages that we needed to put out and the contracts that we needed to develop. And so we really were very hands-on, very in the weeds of what was going on. And for me, that was really exhilarating because I felt like there wasn't going to be that level of challenge in an interning position. And so I just felt a whole lot of responsibility when it came to the role that I had as an intern in the purchasing group.
And where'd you go to college?
University of New Hampshire.
University of New Hampshire, okay. I'm sure you had other students with you who said, oh, I did an internship at this company, and it was boring. It wasn't as exciting. What did you tell people about your internship, and what did you hear from them? Like, really? They had you do actual work?
Yeah, they couldn't believe what I was doing at the time. Actually, there was still a plane, and so I was driving to Manchester, and I was flying to Connecticut, which is where the main purchasing department is out of. And so I was flying to work at times. I was driving to job sites across all 3 of the states in Mass, New Hampshire, and Connecticut. And I was learning so much in the field. And that was really very different than the experience of a lot of my other friends who they were certainly learning, but it was very office focused, which was a component of what I was doing, but not entirely what I was doing. So there was just such a good mix of different groups, different states, different organizations that I was learning from throughout the entire process.
I know that this is an HR question for you, not mine. Back in 2005, did you participate in any like ERG groups? Did they even have those in 2005? I don't know.
They didn't. So back in 2005, they didn't have any business resource groups, but we had some organizations here where outside of the role as an intern, it still gave you the opportunity to be able to be a part of groups that others within the company were part of. And so I have been part of the women's committee for probably most of those 20 years and actively supporting the community through the work of the group.
Awesome. And why do you think Eversource is a good company for people just getting into the workforce, kind of like their first job?
Sure. For me, I think it was a great opportunity to be a part of this company because really there is so much that you can do with your career here. And I think looking at it from the outside, you tend to think that it's just engineering focused, but then when you come into the company, you realize that there's accounting, there's finance, there's legal, there's project management, engineering. There's so much opportunity for all kinds of degrees and all kinds of interests. And there's also, like I said, the field component, there's the office component, there's so much opportunity, as well as great people to work with. I met so many great people, and they're very willing to share their knowledge and help you succeed in your career. And so for me, that meant so much, and it's helped me to get to where I am today.
If someone's on the fence right now as an internship saying, EverSource sounds kind of boring, sounds like I'm not going to get that much out of it, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to really, when you have an internship, you want to think about career-wise and business-wise, what are you looking for long-term? Because ultimately that's why you're there. And so you really need to decide what's most important to you, and deciding whether or not the job is good as well as the business is just as important. So sorry.
Perfect,
Okay.
you're good.
Okay, let me just shut that up.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay, you want to ask me that again?
Yes. So if someone is on the fence about doing an internship here at EverSource compared to another company or organization,
Yeah.
what would you tell them?
So I would tell them that when you're thinking about an internship, you really want to think about the career that you're looking to dive into, as well as the business itself. And I think both make a significant difference in where your career is going. And so when you start working for a company, you want to understand, how do you fit within that business? Every business is different, and the people make a difference, the job makes a difference, the benefits, the location, and so all of those components should be taken into consideration when you're thinking about your future.
Gotcha. And obviously, you should come to EverSource.
Yes.
You should do the EverSource.
Yes.
I feel like you did actually answer this question. How did your internship prepare you for your current role? I feel like you did that. You answered that. How did EverSource support your career?
I don't know if I did. Did I talk about the regulatory affairs and regulatory affairs?
Yeah, I'll ask it again, just in
Okay,
case.
yeah, just in case.
How did your internship prepare you for your current role?
Sure. So my current role is the regulatory affairs manager here in New Hampshire. And so in order to do that, ultimately, we have filings that go before our regulators throughout the year, every year. And in order to make those filings, you really need to understand what the business is, because we're asking our regulators to review these filings and ultimately allow us to recover costs from customers. And so to put a filing together that our regulators understand and our key stakeholders that are part of those cases understand, you have to understand the business. And so the years that I have spent here, starting with my internship, really taught me about the business and what goes into making an electric system run reliably and safely.
Do you feel as though that your job is important and has an effect on a lot of people?
Absolutely. I think about my position, this position as well as my past positions, that I am one piece of why the electric system is running safely and reliably. And over these 20 years that I've been with the company, I have seen such a significant change in the reliance on power in our state, in our country. Everybody needs the lights to turn on, the plug to work, and to do what they need to do on a daily basis. And to be a part of making that happen is really important to me and makes me really feel like the work that we do is so significant.
Awesome sound bites here. Did you participate in groups? We got that. Interest in your role. What makes you? What keeps you excited about your work here today? You kind of just answered.
Yeah.
That. Anything else you think that you want to add? That you think that I didn't miss about the internship program? About why people should be an intern here? Anything else you want to add? I feel like you got everything. So.
I think, like, maybe just for me, I think it is just a whole package. An internship is the whole package. It's really like the start of your career and deciding where you want it to go. And so it's, what is the job? What are the people like? What is the company like? There's the benefits, there's the location. Ultimately, this career that I have been able to have over the past 20 years has allowed me to raise my family here. I've had a short commute to work. I've been able to work with some awesome people throughout the company and learned so much about this business. And there's also so much more opportunity where my future at this company could take me. So ultimately, it's a whole package.
Perfect. Yeah, good sound bites. This is good.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got for.